unbeaten run in this fourth division league, winning 2-0 league. We also have some other results that came through yesterday about the same game, and you can as well see we're waiting to see what the Gist Band will do, simply because the Gist Band has drawn just one game. We're waiting to see if they come into another game, how they are going to fare out, especially for the qualification of the season 2024-2025 that is taking place in Bushenyi. I can guarantee you that everything is going on very well, as we have the fixtures that are coming up for this very league. Remember, Super Mini is always played at the end of the season, especially from the district levels, that is the District Football Association, whereby the three leading teams on the table, depending on all the tables of the districts, that is here in Ankole sub-region, they go play each other in Bushenyi somewhere for almost a week, so that they can see who qualifies for the Western Regional League next season, that is 2024-2025. Now today, Tuesday 14th, we are going to have lots of games actually. Today we're going to have a number of games, and Bwera FC is going to be playing Bushenyi Elite, as well as the Gist Band is going to take on Ascendio Football Club, and that game is going to be played right after, as I leave this place at 8:30 at Bushenyi Main Stadium. There's going to be a game that's going to kick off, and that is the Gist Band taking on Ascendio Football Club. Kamoma FC is also going to be playing a Sports Club Kashonji. That will be at 10:30 later at Bushenyi Main Stadium. And Bara FC, they are going to be back on the field for their second game of the mini league, and that will be against Bwera Football Club. That will be later at 1400 hours. That will be at 2 p.m. later, still at Bushenyi Main Stadium. And Ascendio Football Club, they will also be playing against Oasis. It will be at 1400. That is at pitch 2. There's going to be pitch 1 and pitch 2 at Bushenyi Main Stadium. Therefore, we are also going to see Sports Club Kashonji playing Ishaka Ruins at 1600 hours. That will be at 4 p.m. later at Bushenyi Main Stadium. And Makeke Football Club, they are going to be playing their third game. Remember, they have actually won one game and lost one. Now they are going to be playing Kamoma Football Club, and I think this is the time for Makenke to get close to qualification. This is the time they really have to use so that they can win. Remember, Kamoma is one of those teams that actually drew their first game, that was 0-0 against Ishaka Ruins, and now we just don't know what will happen. Makenke will be playing Kamoma later at 1600 hours. That will be at 4 p.m. Today in the evening. That is what I can tell you about the Bushenyi Super Mini League that's taking place, and they are preparing to see who goes through for the next season, that is 2024-2025 season for Western Region League. Now the updates will be coming your way. Let me take you to the sad news so far, as we have heard and we have confirmed from the Federation of Uganda Football Association and the former clubs this man has been to, and that is Fred Kajoba, who has been one of the most serving goalkeeping coaches on the national team. That is Fred Kajoba. He has been the national team goalkeeping coach for a very long period of time, and you can as well see him there. He was the leader of delegation as our team was actually heading to Morocco. You can see that picture that was taken lately, as he has actually been enjoying. Fred Kajoba has served in different capacities. You remember, one time he took over the helm as the interim coach of the national team some time back, after we had had a dismissal of Makistri Jonathan, the other Irish international who had been appointed for Uganda Cranes job. Fred also went to Vipers, where he has been serving as a coach, and remember his stint, how he won 2 games. You remember what happened later, but it's so sad that the Federation of Uganda Football Association, the football fraternity in Uganda, as well as those 2 clubs, that is Vipers and the national team, have actually lost a very significant figure, especially when it comes to the goalkeeping department. He has been one of the most skilled goalkeeping coaches that we have had across in this country. Fred Kajoba has actually passed on. He passed on yesterday, and we received those sad news later, being confirmed by the Federation of Uganda Football Association. Now, this time around, the UPL, that is the Uganda Premier League Limited, they also had something to write about Fred Kajoba. His full name is actually Fred Chisitu Kajoba. He used to be a player and the coach. The Premier League is saying the Premier League is saddened for the passing of Coach Fred Chisitu Kajoba. We extend our deepest sympathies to the family, friends, and the colleagues. That is a statement that came through from the UPL, that is the the organization that looks after the Uganda Startimes Fufa Premier League, the league that's actually number 1 in this country, the National League of Uganda, especially for football. So they have had a statement about a friend Chisitu Kajoba, who has actually been an icon in our football here in Uganda. So we sympathize as GNTV, and we sympathize with the family, we eulogize and we condole with the friends and family and his former coaching clubs where he has actually served. That is all we can say, for God knows where we are all heading. Away from that, let me take you straight to the Teen Cranes. Remember, we had a game between Uganda under 17 girls, that is the Teen Cranes, and the two polo. Those are the young girls of Zambia. Yeah, we played that game in Lusaka and we lost 2-0, but this time around they are back here in Uganda. That is a Teen Cranes training. Yesterday they conducted a light training, as you can see. That is one Bethany Kulaya, a lady who plays at Brighton and Hove Albion in England. She is back here at home, and they have actually been conducting one of the latest trainings after touching down at Entebbe over the weekend. That was on Sunday. So yesterday they conducted a light training to regain, to rejuvenate their bodies, to rebuild, to reconstruct their shape, so that they can be able to train later today and tomorrow, so that they can prepare for the upcoming second leg, that is a return leg at St. Mary's Stadium Chitende, where they will be playing the Zambia girls of under 17 in the under 17 World Cup qualifiers, which are going to take place on Friday, and that game will commence at 4 p.m. and it will be here in Uganda. So that's one of the pictures that we got you from yesterday's training at Philip Omondi Stadium, that is in Lugogo, and we expect lots of more trainings this very week, like today, tomorrow, and maybe on Thursday. We shall actually see what will be transpiring. We shall be bringing all those details later when we come back for the sports zone. And remember, we had a number of girls start up in the game that we played, that is the Teen Cranes squad, and we had Lillian Nachia in goal. Desire Natoro was the captain as we were playing against Zambia. Farida Namirimo, we also Bethany Kulaya, as you have seen her there, she was amongst the starters. Joyce Kainza, Bushira Nalunkuma, Esther Nangendo, Adrian and Doreen Ajwat, Agnes Nabukenya, Shadia Nabidi, and as well as Sylvia Kabeni. We have also had lots of girls who began from the bench. Angela Adeke, the goalkeeper, was on bench, that is shot 18. Fahima Babiye, shot 24, was also on bench. Rita Nambusi was on bench. Shafiga Tamisi also on bench. Mariam Namataka on bench. Vanessa Namazi was on bench, and Charity Katusime started on bench. That was the squad that had traveled to Zambia, that is in Lusaka, where we played that very game, and we lost 2-0 for the first game. But the return leg will be on Friday, this very week, 17th, and we shall have that game commence at St. Mary's Stadium in Chitende at 1600 hours. That will be at 4 p.m. in the evening. So be ready to support our under 17 girls. You need to be ready and support these girls so that they can qualify for World Cup. Away from that, let me take you to the Startimes Fufa Uganda Premier League. We shall have lots of games this very week, and that will be match week 29. We expect lots of games, like Soitio Bracers, who are going to be playing against Chitara. Soitio Bracers will be at home at a recreational center in Kavumba, and they are going to kick off at 4 p.m. Remember, all these games are now going to be kicking off at 4 p.m. simply because we just do not want syndicate, we just do not want issues of match fixing. We're just trying to avoid any incidents, any leaks of information about the performances of the other teams, so that we can see some of the teams get relegated, or some of the teams get the positions they want without inferiority, or without infliction, or without infringement. So we expect all these games to kick off at 4 p.m. on different stadia. But I can take you through all these fixtures that we have here. So Tio Bright Stars, as I told you, will be playing Chitara at Recreational Center in Kavumba. Esivia will be playing against URA. That will be at Mutesa Royal Memorial Stadium. And Kampala Capital City Authority, the Kasasura Boys, will be playing against Wakiso Giants. That will be at Philip Omondi Stadium. And Mbarara City, they will be playing against Bull. That will be at Kacheka Stadium at 4 p.m. And remember, this game will be broadcasted live on FUFA television. That game will be later on at 4 p.m. at Kacheka. We shall also have a game between Busoga and Vipers, which will also commence at 4 p.m. That is at FUFA Technical Center in Njeru, as well as having UPDF playing against Maroons, and that game will be played at Military Barracks Stadium, that is in Bombo. And actually the last game of match day 29 would be Gaddafi taking on Express. If Gaddafi doesn't win this game, then they will be relegated officially. They will not be returning for the season 2024-2025. That is Gaddafi will be playing against Express at Gaddafi Arena. And we remember that Gaddafi now are looking for points to survive relegation. Now that is what I can tell you about the FUFA Stadiums Uganda Premier League. We shall be bringing you the details about the table, about the top scorers, and more about the Uganda Stadiums FUFA Premier League later in our program in the evening. That is at 3 p.m. when we come back. In case we happen to return, we shall be bringing you all those details about the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. Away from that, I have news to tell you about Mandela National Stadium. Like I told you, I have actually told you not once, not twice, that this time we shall see all these games return to Nambole, because the Standard Nambole had been raised to qualifies to host international games, and that is one of the flyers that tells us that Uganda Cranes are back at Nambole, our fortress. That has actually been our fortress since 2000. We only lost 2 games at Nambole in 21 years, and you can see how this important Nambole Stadium is for Uganda, especially for football fans and for football players. And this time around, we have 2 fixtures that are going to be played back at Nambole as it returns after renovation. And we have those 2 games that will be Uganda versus Botswana. That will be on Friday, 7th June 2024. And we shall also come back to Nambole on Monday, 10th June 2024, playing against Algeria. That will be one of the games that we are looking forward to watching, simply because it will mean a lot in our qualification journey for the World Cup. In case we win those games, we shall be good to go, and you can clearly see how these fixtures will be back to back. And you can see we shall play on 7th June, that will be a Friday. Then we come back on Monday, 10th June, that will be 2020 for this very year. We shall be playing against Botswana and Algeria here at home, so that we embark on our journey of World Cup qualification. That will be the World Cup that's coming up in 2026. So we will play that all the people move to Nambole so that they can cheer up the Uganda Cranes. Away from that, I can tell you that woes at Manchester United will never end. You can clearly know that, simply because they are not crying for only the poor performances on the pitch. You can clearly see that clip as Martin Odegaard dodged a one-Sofian Amrabat, and he almost fainted. You can clearly see that. That was one of the instances that we got you from that very game that Manchester United played against Arsenal, and that game was at Old Trafford. The game ended 1-0 courtesy of Leandro Trossard, a guy who was actually scored against Manchester United when he was still at Brighton and Hove Albion, and he continued his scoring run against Manchester when they played together at Old Trafford, and this game ended 1-0. I can tell you about Leandro Trossard. He's actually one of the saviors of Arsenal, as he has scored a number of winning goals, about 5 of them for Team Arsenal, and they have actually been pivotal. The goals Leandro Trossard has played for Arsenal have been pivotal, and they have actually won some points for Arsenal. That is Leandro Trossard. He scored a game, an equalizer in the Community Charity Shield Cup. You remember, he also scored a winner versus Everton. Remember that very game, there was actually tightness in that very game. Leandro Trossard, he scored another equalizer against Team Chelsea. Remember also that one was very important. He scored a clutch against Liverpool, and he came back to score against FC Porto. You remember in that UEFA Champions League game, he again scored the equalizer against FC Bayern Munich. He also scored that winner against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and last time he scored a winner against Manchester United. That's Leandro Trossard for you, and he has actually helped Team Arsenal to be at the top of that table with his contributions. Those are some of the goals that he scored, and they have actually helped Arsenal to be at the top of the table right until now. So let's talk about Old Trafford again. And Manchester United are also looking for ways how to escape this, but they cannot tell. Old Trafford has been reported for several years that there have been leaks in the roofing. There have actually been leaks within the ceiling, in the dressing rooms, and players cannot have somewhere to shelter themselves, especially against adverse conditions like rainfall. You see, that was a very heavy downpour at Old Trafford as Arsenal beat Manchester United at home. You can clearly see how the roof was leaking, and later we saw pictures of the leaking ceiling in the dressing room. That is in the dressing room of Manchester United. That's what happens, especially when it rains at Old Trafford. You can clearly see how the glory days for Manchester United have gone. They actually cannot be seen no more. United used to be a mighty club. They used to have one of the magnificent stadia. They used to have one of the most magnificent stadium and facility. That was Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams. But this time, it's the theatre of tears. You can clearly see how the ceiling is leaking, and a club of United stature having a leaking ceiling like that one is something unacceptable in standard football. I just don't know. And remember, recently Manchester United have actually been ranked one of the most expensive football clubs, but that's what takes place inside the dressing rooms at Old Trafford. And we also happened to see lots of rainwater flowing down the stands at Old Trafford. That was immediately after the game. We have some other pictures of Old Trafford flood, and actually every other fan in the world was amazed to see these pictures. Everyone could not believe that this is the Manchester that we really had about when we were growing up. So that is what happens at Old Trafford. So besides that, we have seen the likes of Manchester United women winning the FA Cup. That is away from the sad side, away from the other shaming side of Manchester. We have seen the women winning the FA Cup at Wembley. Just before the Arsenal game, Manchester United women had won the FA Cup at Wembley Stadium. I remember they have actually won their first ever. They won their first ever FA Cup, or their first ever silverware ever since this Manchester United women team was formulated. So those are stories about Manchester. Now I can bring you back the women here in Uganda. As you see those results, that was a result of Kawempe Muslim and Kampala. Actually, that is Kampala Queens who are playing against Asuboga for ladies. That game of Kawempe Muslim also came first. Now we are looking at the result that Kampala Queens beat Asuboga for ladies 3-1. That was over the weekend, and after that win for Kampala Queens, now Asuboga for ladies are officially relegated from the FUFA Women's Super League, and we really need to talk about that, as Kampala Queens is one of the teams that has improved day by day. But now we are remaining with 2 games to finish off the season, and Kampala Queens as well as Kawempe Muslim are still waiting for that very last moment so that we can determine the winner. According to the table, that is the women Super League team here in table here in Uganda. Kampala Muslim, as in Kawempe Muslim, is actually leading the table after 14 games. They have 31 points, and second is Kampala Queens who have 26 points, as well as having played 13 games. That means they are 1 game behind Kawempe Muslim, who are the leaders, and the difference is actually 5 points. In case they win that game in hand, they will have to get 39 points, and they will be remaining with equal number of games. So that means if they win both legs, they will be able to clinch this title. That is Kampala Queens for you, a team that belongs to a one FIFA president, Engineer Moses Magogo. As you can as well see how Kawempe Muslim are still leading the table. Shumaroons comes third after 13 games. They have actually 26. They have actually 22. That is behind 26 pointed Kampala Queens. Now we expect the league to have momentum at the end. That is at the final, the climax of the season. That would be the result that we're expecting to see. Asuboga for ladies have actually been relegated officially from the Women's Super League. Wakiso Hill Women's Football Club also will be looking forward to play their last game in this very league, as if they win, they will stay. If they do not win, they will be relegated also. So away from that, we have had a statement coming in from Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is a Paris Saint-Germain player at the moment, but he clearly gave us a statement, and he said he is not going to continue life at Parc des Princes. Remember, Kylian Mbappe has been in the news for the last 1 year, and he confirmed earlier this very week that he is going to leave Paris Saint-Germain, and he's going to leave Parc des Princes. Therefore, he will no longer be a player at Paris Saint-Germain next season. We have had lots and lots of lots of reactions coming in from different football pundits talking about Kylian Mbappe, and Kylian Mbappe himself said he has been privileged to play at Parc des Princes, and he'll be leaving. He will not continue to play at Parc des Princes. That is next season 2024-2025. Away from that, I can take you to Spain. Now, celebrations are still going. Celebrations are going on in Real, in the city of Madrid, as Real Madrid clinched their 36th title. That is their 36th league, that is La Liga Santander. There have been record champions, there have been record winners of this trophy. Winning 36 times is not simple. 36 times winning the La Liga has not been underlooked. Now, Real Madrid are still taking celebrations on the streets of Madrid, and we can as well tell you that Real Madrid are now the most winning European club ever, after adding that 36th title for them with Carlo Ancelotti. They are also in the UEFA Champions League finals. They will be playing against Borussia Dortmund, coming in there from Germany. That's one of the pictures, that the captain's picture, that is Captain Nacho Monreal holding that La Liga Santander trophy after they had been given that trophy when they played Granada, and they won with a 4 margin. Now Real Madrid are taking on celebrations on the streets. We expect to see lots and lots of more activities, especially during the celebrations, as Real Madrid clinched their 36th title, and they are preparing to play in the UEFA Champions League finals. Come on 1st June, they will be playing against Borussia Dortmund come for the Champions League. I will tell you much more about the Soloti Cricket Week and who won the Soloti Cricket Week for girls there in Soloti. I'll be bringing you all those details later in the evening when we come back for the Sports Zone. My brother Edgar will be coming back to bring you the hotspot, and we shall be wishing you a good morning.